Now, I totally forgot to film this progress because it was a bit of a scramble, bit of a mad scramble. So this wall has been similar to that for a while. A chunk of it is missing, but recently more of it has started to collapse. So this part here has all collapsed, you know, this bit here. This has all collapsed very recently in the last few days. So I have moved this repair up the priority list to the very top. And yeah, in a mad frenzy, I've done all this this work down here. So just to explain a bit what's happened, this down the bottom here, you've got some bedrock. So this is bedrock here, and so it was very difficult to do concrete casting on it because it's at a very steep angle, steep incline like this. So I had to press a board against the rock and fill the edges with stones and other bits of wood and just very makeshift. And I used some acros to keep it in place. And then I cast it, so I turned the cement mixer on down there and I got a bunch of sacks of ballast and I mixed up the ballast with cement and yeah, poured the concrete in here. And while I was filling it up to this, you see this level here, I was filling it up to about there. I got it a bit higher, but then my wooden board started to shift with the weight of the concrete, and it actually opened underneath and all the concrete just flopped out down into this. It flopped out down, you can see it on the stone here, sort of dribbled out, and it started pouring out down here, and I swore pretty loudly, and then in a bit of a scramble I put a load of extra wooden supports and acros and stuff and just about saved the situation. And then I let it all go off, and once it had gone off I strengthened it up a bit more again, the supports that I had in place, did a second casting on top of the first one. And I forgot to say, within this casting there's a bunch of rebar, metal, steel rod, and I actually got a power drill from one of the builders in town and drilled into the bedrock. I drilled 4, probably, I don't know, they're like 8-inch holes. So one here, one here, one here, one here into the bedrock. Stuck a load of stuck sort of steel rebar rods in there, and then onto the rods I attached some metal, I think it's called rebar as well, the gridded metal grid basically. So it's reinforced concrete. Actually you can see a tiny bit here, you might not be able to see that, there's a tiny bit sticking out there. Yeah, anyway, that was the first bit, and then this most recent casting here, it was a lot easier to put these boards in place. This one at the bottom was very hard to attach anything because again the angle of the rock, and it was just really awkward. But now that I've got this first one, the second one's a lot easier because, well, first of all there's a little ledge here that I can put the boards on, and the weight of the concrete, most of it goes down into the previous casting, as opposed to on this one where it was on this ledge like that. All of the weight sort of like pushed into the bottom of the board. You know, it was like a funnel, and all of the weight was on the bottom of the board, so it sort of opened up like a envelope. Anyway, yeah, this one's been a lot easier. Did that this morning. It's starting to go hard now. I'm gonna let this cure overnight, and in the morning I'll remove all these acros and the wood. So on top of it I've just put some boards. They're just loosely laid on top, and that's in case any more of this wall crumbles down onto it. I don't want it to get splash into the to the wet concrete, so I just put those boards over the top. But yeah, in the morning I'm gonna clear all that stuff, and I'll have a nice solid foundation, flat foundation to build the wall up off. Tomorrow's the weekend as well, so I've got 2 full days to try and fix this, and then on Monday I need to leave. So I need to leave for like 5 weeks, maybe more, so this is a super priority to get this fixed, because otherwise I won't be sleeping very well worrying about it. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, it's all looking on track. So tomorrow, the only thing I might be missing is enough cement. So I'm going to have to potentially go and scrounge some cement off someone in the village. But that should be doable. I've got sand down here. I've got about 1.5 tons of sand, so that should be fine. And I've got plenty of stones here. They're all stones. I'm going to have to get those stones. So, well, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to get rid of all this scaffolding, and I'm going to put a platform from here over to there, so that I can walk over there and access it. And then I'm going to start building the wall up, and hopefully I can get to about there tomorrow. It's quite a big task because the stones are really heavy and it's quite slow building walls. And also all of these, this is all like really muddy, so they didn't used to use mortar, they just used mud. And so now it's just like powdered mud in there, dirt, dust. And that doesn't really jive very well with wet mortar. It just sort of stops the mortar from bonding. So somehow or other I'm going to have to clean these off so that I've got a nice surface to build the wall into and onto. Right, so I got this platform set up here. So it's going across onto that ledge. It's got a little acro under it, and it's kind of screwed in on this side. It's pretty sturdy, it's pretty stable enough for now. And if you look over here, there's a bunch of wall that I built. So this is brilliant. This is the most vulnerable part fixed, because that's the part that was slowly crumbling away, and each time I came back to the house a bit more of the wall was down there. So that's going to not happen anymore. That's built, and the next bit I'm going to do is this. So I'm going to fill this in today. I did this morning, took about 4 hours. No, more like 5 hours actually, because I had to build this platform. So it should be quicker this afternoon. I'm going to build up to about the same level, leave it overnight, let it all go off and dry, and then do the same thing for the top bit. And basically all I'm doing is hosing down the wall carefully, not to disturb it too much, hosing off this mud here. This is just powdered dirt, so hosing that all off so the stones are nice and wet and clean, and then just slapping a load of mortar in there and building up very slowly and carefully, not to disturb the wall too much. So here we are at the end of the day, and I don't know, what is that, about 2/5 left? If I'm being optimistic, it's a third, but I think it's more like 2/5 left to go. So I've got a whole day tomorrow, Sunday. Should be perfectly doable considering what I've done so far. It went pretty well. This last section, the wall here, these stones stop way further than I'm able to stop, so the wall, yeah, it's a bit tricky. You see this stone is here, and then the wall I've built is here, so they don't quite line up, and that is I think just the result of where I started. So obviously where this platform is, I built the wall dunk to the platform, and then obviously, yeah, just kind of had to follow the platform because I didn't have space. And what that means is it doesn't line up with this end of the wall. Bit annoying, but I think what I'll probably do is I'll build this up, and I'll try and marry it up to the top stones. Keep it aligned on these stones. Try and marry it up at the top, and then once this is built and dry, I'll take those ones out and then put them back in, but slightly more embedded. We'll see though. We'll see. It'll be fine. But yeah, there it is, the end of the afternoon. Ooh, so it is now lunchtime the following day, and I've done another batch of wall building. And I went from about, I think those are the first stones. And I did that and that. So not that much, but that was about 5 mixers full. So it was a lot of sand and mortar-y shit went in there. There was a hole back here, I decided to backfill a lot in there. And anyway, I've run out of cement now, so can't really do any more. Yeah, I can't really do any more at this point, but actually looking at that hole, that might be quite a nice little cupboard. You could make a little archway in there and have like a, yeah, have a little space in the wall. That'd be quite nice. But yeah, anyway, I leave tomorrow. I'm leaving for 5 weeks or so. So that's going to have to stay as it is for now. I think it's significantly better. I think it's not going anywhere now. And I feel comfortable leaving without having to worry about it. Also down here, I've put an acro supporting this. It's probably not doing much, but again, just peace of mind, because yeah, this wall is currently collapsed underneath it as well, so that needs building up when I get back. But yeah, it's looking great now. All I have to do when I get back is finish this, do that, and then brick up this doorway here, and then this part of the house can just sit here and it will be fine. And then in here, in this house, it needs plastering, painting, electrics and some tiling and fitting a kitchen, and then I've got a nice house.